All right, guys, what is going on? Welcome to the CoinMerge Technologies Web3 Shards DeFi Utility Showcase. Thank you for joining. Next up, we got Strike Protocol. So I'm going to add as speaker. Make sure to follow him back. Everyone's going to follow on Tim Harris here. Hey, so if you know the format by now, it's you got 5 minutes to tell us all about Strike Protocol. Thank you for joining.
Cheers. Thanks a lot for having us. And I have to say, awesome products in front of us. I was already talking with our CTO. We're going to check out both of them because it's right up our alley. Strike Protocol. Strike Protocol is a gamified project made by studio GD Entertainment. And my company, Kupi, is doing the Web3 integration for the game itself. And I'd like to use your time to go over a couple of the benefits. So what we're saying is that it's all the crypto gaming benefits with zero of the drawbacks that we've seen in the last 2 years. And basically, this is what we feel that next generation crypto gaming should be. So what we're trying to do is we're pioneering the studio's 2-year research that they did on basically everything that went wrong during the last 2 years of Bear. A lot of P2E projects pumped and dumped and disappeared. A lot of them were based on Ponzi tokenomics. A huge amount of them had a complete lack of player adaptation because they were completely relying on the fact that a lot of players had to come from within the crypto community, which was, going down and down and down in quantity. So what they've done is as a studio and with 6-7 years of experience building games and telling stories, they've created a game where the first focus was on player growth and scaling into large volume. So they've built a game which is basically a base creation and base attacking, and they've tried and combined all of the points that were not good on other games and figured a way out how to translate it into something which is good for both players and then stakeholders on the other side from investment side. If you look at how player adaptation is tackled, for that they have a huge massive partnership with Hotkey, and Hotkey is a studio that normally does the player distribution and player marketing from the States for practically all of the big game studios. So that's the partnership that they took on there to be able to push out into every major player distribution. So PC, Android, Apple, iOS. There are obviously a few differences, but you can play the game on any of these platforms and tackle it from any device. You can even switch between them and so on. Another challenge was the bridging of gamers and crypto community that has also failed to succeed in a lot of different projects. Now here they have come up with, and we're sharing that on our light paper, by the way, as well, a system where you can truly combine all the financial streams. So you have the crypto side on one side, you have a lot of free players, which are obviously zero in finance, but that makes up a large part of volume in terms of players. And you have fiat coming in. Now they've already announced one fiat partner on their side, which is Electrocoin. They are going to announce a second financial partner as well on that somewhere next week. And that's completely tackled because a lot of the money streams come in across the handheld, the phone gaming side, and this, normally speaking, in projects prior, never saw it back into investors who are holding a token and then ask themselves, well, why on earth am I holding this token? Which makes me bridge to the next point, and this is something that we're developing from our side at Kupi, is the revenue share model that we are building, completely proprietary for them. It is a model which basically says we hate staking. Staking has been a pitfall for a lot of projects and investors, myself included. I've been stuck in staking projects where I've staked for 6 or 12 months, never was able to see anything back from it because the project didn't last that long. So we've taken the entire approach looking at stakeholder value, made sure that we've made a model that is rewarding to stakeholders in between intervals. If they choose to sell, that's okay. That's totally fine. That's a natural progression. We don't want to have them locked in. We want to make sure that we award them for staying in there for a long time. The project itself is backed by a lot of VCs who know the route that we have. It's a 12-week route to market. Yeah, and there's a couple of other things in there, like instant play without zero delays. One of the biggest problem in gaming is that if you're actually doing PvP mode, normally speaking, even on popular games, you'll have to wait 5 to 10 minutes for a connect on your level, especially if you're playing this game for a longer time and you're higher up, which this game doesn't have either, because you can create a base whenever you want in your free time, and you can raid a base whenever you want in your free time. This connect is instant, the data transfers are minimal. Yeah, and for the rest, it's a whole string of companies, including my own, connected to this game, which also makes a very welcome difference, because it's not a project made up of a lot of anonymous people. Everything is KYC'd, audited, and so on.
Awesome, man. Thank you for that presentation and kind of letting us down. What would you say is the most difficult part of game development in the process and completion?
Research. In this case, it was research, because there are unfortunately so many cases where good intentions, let's put it like that, even the games with the best intentions, and I've been part of the marketing process on quite a few of them that were absolutely fantastic and awesome, that could have been massively successful. Player adaptation there was a giant problem, and it wasn't tackled up front, even though it was sought to be tackled. So the research that the GDE has done, and we've been on a couple of really long AMAs with Maurice, with Manager, where we've had one of the guys from the studio explain all of the research that they did, and it's very clear when you hear him speak that the guy knows what he's been doing the last 2 years examining all of this.
Awesome, man. Thank you for that. I saw that maybe the Manager was involved with you guys as well as Gandalf Crypto, so a fair amount of KOLs here. So I'll open up the mic to those guys and everyone else on the speaker panel for questions or comments.
Yeah, I had just a quick one, Tim. Just looking at the website, looks really good, man. I love the overhead type of view for the game, just kind of inherently playing as you're browsing the site. I'm curious, with GameFi, whenever there's money involved with games, unfortunately, there can be cheating. So how are you guys taking on what's your approach to anti-cheat within the game?
Yeah, it's a really good question. Well, one of the first simplest things of all is obviously to have transfer tax on the token itself. It's not a big plug, but it helps. Then if you look at the in-house protection that has been put in, there's a lot of thought put into there as well, because we had the long research, we've had the examples where this exactly happened. We've made sure that the incentives for players to play are actually more enticing behavior in a good sense. So, for example, part of the game is relying on having a lot of creators. Now, the creator type of players is usually the type of player that is not the one who is being used for botting and rushing and doing all that sort of thing. So these coming from the free-to-play element are going to be incented to hop over from, let's say, the free-to-play either to fiat or to crypto side, where they will have the opportunity, gentle reminders going hey, you've created this awesome base. This awesome base has been enjoyed by 24 players. You might have earned, $52 by now. How about we give you a good offer to hop over? And therefore rewarding players on that side. If you look at signups, there's obviously quite a bit of proprietary protection put into place, and I also know from the studio that this is the number one reason why at the moment they're not disclosing which hosting and server partner they're going with, because they want to run a lot of full-size stress testing before they announce that one as well, just to be sure and secure that everything's been properly tested and audited.
Awesome. Yeah, great to hear. Thank you so much. And I like that you guys, just as one last thing, I like that you guys have the free to play and then the paid version. It almost reminds me of kind of obviously a different game, but RuneScape, where it was the free to play, you could get a lot done. And then eventually you're like, okay, yeah, let me pay for it because I'm having fun. So awesome.
Yeah, we obviously, if you look at the rollout window in 12 weeks, so that's 10 weeks from now because it's been launched 2 weeks ago. The first rollout will obviously be PC and Android. Apple is expected to be a quarter later. That's also the community where Fiat will have the most transactions. And by that time, we expect the Android community to have set up a lot of different bases and a lot of different people already in there. And that also ties in very, very nicely with the, Fiat expected to come more from the iOS users and also, geographically in the locations where spending is a bit more common to catch up, so to speak.
Thank you for that, man. Appreciate that info. Manager, did you have something?
Oh yes. Yeah, nice to see you, Tim. We had a great AMA last week, and
Yeah.
I think it's a very great play to earn adventure here, where strategy and skill and smart economics meet the battlefield of the future. And new investors should definitely consider Strike Protocol because I think personally it represents like a unique convergence of engaging gameplay and blockchain technology. So yeah,
Mhm.
we have
Thank you
such a
very much. And
yeah, you have a
if there
rich
are,
and strategy-based universe here.
yeah, we're actually opening up our second round for alpha testing. So if anyone's interested in actually trying the game over the weekend, you can go to Koopy.com. That's KOOPI.com/strike and sign up for it there.
That's something for Morris.
Mm. I know.
So thank you. I do have a tweet pinned up there from the top. So not only can you follow our friend over here, Tim Harris, CEO of Koopy, but you can also follow Strike Protocol up there at the top. Check out the game. Check out everything they have to offer there. Everyone's always looking for a good time, good fun. And so, everyone loves GameFi in that capacity. Maurice, what do you got for us?
Yeah, no, I was going to say, I think, Tim, you mentioned the 12 week go to market. So, as you guys understand with utility projects, it's not like some of these meme plays where it's, that immediate gratification. Just make sure you're jumping into the socials, stay in touch with the updates, because that is where you can really understand what's coming. The timeline's better. I get so many DMs when these utility plays that we support, pop off a couple months later, and it's more so the people who are like mad and they're like, "Yo, who's actually holding that?" I'm like, "Well, if you actually joined the community and were paying attention, you would have been holding your bag still." So that's just again what I wanted to say in terms of like timelines and these longer term plays. Tim had kind of mentioned it, and I just wanted to echo, just join the community, stay up to date, and that's the best way for any utility project. You can make informed decisions as a community member, as a holder, or somebody who may be looking to enter a project. So
Awesome, man. Appreciate those words. Caesar's Calls Crypto. So like I said, throw a follow on Tim, throw a follow on Strike Protocol. And thanks again for presenting, man. And we hope to see you in these in the future or in other AMAs with us. Fantastic talking to you guys.